Hello there.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Blackfeather Tavern. Chaos Boss, that's cool. Working on a character sheet. I'm assuming that's for the Monday game. But yeah, welcome everybody. So for anybody that's new to the Blackfeather Tavern, this whole stream is basically for anybody that enjoys the whole atmosphere of going to a coffee shop or a tavern or a pub, and just being able to, chat with your favorite barista, your favorite bartender, local community, things like that. So it's for everybody that enjoys that kind of atmosphere, especially for those who enjoy that, but perhaps are not able to do that physically due to physical limitations or financial limitations or whatever. Gives you a chance to hang out. So the stream is all about all of you. So feel free to pop in with chat and let us know, what's bugging you this week, what's going well, just whatever you want to talk about. And we'll chat about it. I'm going to fix a filter real quick because the threshold is too high to pick up the music on my limiter there. Also spammed my OC development server to come follow the channel for the game on Monday. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Thank you. And yeah, Scrat, thanks for that follow. How are things going over there? I caught some of the game yesterday. It looked like a lot of fun. Music seems to still be kind of cutting in and out here. There we go, that's a little better. Working on Guy, is that Laveau? Is that how you pronounce that one? My mute engineer. A mute engineer. That's going to be interesting. So for those that don't know, we're talking about a one-shot that we're going to be doing, a sort of special one, on Monday the 16th called Found in Space. And it's set in the universe of Serenity or Firefly. And we're going to be investigating a derelict colony ship that never arrived where it was supposed to. It should be pretty cool. Oh, okay, Lavoie. Like LaCroix. Okay. Freaking love LaCroix. So good. And I know a lot of people look at me really weird when I say that. But I do. I like them. They, when I have them, they keep me from drinking soda, which is great. And okay, I think I got the audio issue figured out. Now they're more like an Italian soda. LaCroix, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I really like them. So other than working on your character sheet, what's new with you today? Not as sweet as typical, yeah. And I can't have artificial sweeteners. Like, well, I can have some of them, like Splenda or whatever it's called, sucralose. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Either way, I can have that one, but most things, even if it has that or some other sweetener in it, also has aspartame. And yeah, that will give me massive migraines if I drink it. So as far as getting away from sugary sodas and things like that, I don't have a lot of options other than just drink water, which I hate drinking just water. I don't know why, but it bugs me. Or something else that doesn't have that in there, which there's not a lot of those. So with LaCroix not having any sweetener in it, it's pretty nice. You can make your own syrups. Yeah. I can't have most artificial sweeteners. I gotta stick to sugar. Okay, cool. So, I mean, not cool that you're have to deal with that, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do make my own syrups. I made one recently. This was, I guess not super recent. It was like October. So I made one for coffee, and I did, I believe it was a 2-to-1 ratio, so 2 cups of sugar, or I'm sorry, 2 cups of water to 1 cup of sugar. So it was relatively thin syrup. And I used cinnamon, cardamom, clove, allspice, and I think a little bit of nutmeg in there. And I made sort of a holiday spice syrup. And we went through that so freaking fast. It was really good. I need to make some more. Tea syrups are amazing. Yes, I bet they would be. I don't drink a lot of tea. It's we talked about that last week. I don't drink a lot of tea, but I bet like an orange or a lemon syrup, made with like just the zest, would be really good in a tea. Like 70 different teas? Wow. That's a lot of different teas. I've got some Earl Grey, I've got some green tea, and then my friend Rowan has a bunch of different herbal teas. It's like in a big jar over by the coffee machine. I'll toss one of those in with my my iced tea brew every once in a while. Mostly I just make iced tea. Love my teas. One of my faves as it gets colder is cardamom French toast tea. That sounds amazing. What is cardamom French toast tea? I mean, I know what cardamom is. It's one of my favorite spices, but how do you get that into a tea? All those flavors. This is the problem with chat lag. Ship a Tivana? I used to. There was a Tivana in the mall not too far away from where I lived, but after Starbucks bought them out, it was a lot harder to find a Tivana shop. That one closed down. Yeah, I used to go there all the time. I would get, what was it called? It was like a peach jasmine green tea. It was so good. There's another one out here. Let me know. Let me just try to remember the name. Okay. Who is chatting at me? I'm keeping an eye on Twitter as well while we're chatting and whatnot. So if you are talking to me on Twitter, I will still see it. Wasn't kidding when I said I'm on Twitter just about 24/7, except for when I'm asleep. And then half the time I'm dreaming about being on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter all day. Another good one to order from is Silk Road and Murchie's. That sounds cool. Murchie's is local up here, and they do a lot of teas based on local events, places around here. Okay, that sounds pretty neat. Yeah, that sounds pretty neat. their Earl's Garden. Is that a... Is that like a variety of Earl Grey, or was that just like an autocorrect making it garden instead of gray? Also, if you notice me looking down here, it's because that's where my chat is. It's a variety. Okay, cool. Is it like more orangey or less orangey? What makes it different? It's a Earl Grey Jasmine High. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Jasmine's one of my favorite flavors, along with cardamom. So you've already listed two of my favorite flavors ever. So that's fantastic. So yeah, talking points for this week. I did figure out this week I'm going to be selling my car, which is a bit of an interesting sensation. I've been without a car before. It's a green Earl Grey. Okay, cool. I've been without a car before, and it wasn't a huge deal, but at the time I was living in a place called Orem, which is basically... I was right next to the interstate, right next to a mass transit system called Front Runner, a train that you could take up and down the Salt Lake and Utah valleys. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. Being here in a small college town, literally in the middle of nowhere. Like the town that I'm in is decently sized. There's all kinds of stuff here to do and everything. But if you leave the city, it's like nothing all around. I'm about 3 miles away, or not 3 miles, 3 hours. I haven't finished my coffee yet. About 3 hours away from where I used to live. And there's like nothing between there and here. So yeah, it's a little unnerving going like, okay, well, if I needed to get back to where my stuff is, which is being stored where I used to live, you know, how do I get up there? But yeah, I kept debating about it. I'm like, I don't really drive. I work from home, obviously. I don't really drive a whole lot of places. I live with friends, so when we go grocery shopping and stuff, I just go with them. And the city's not that big to where I couldn't walk somewhere if I needed to. There's also Lyft and Uber, which is about $20 round trip to go to the other side of town and back. So it's like, okay. Oof, but you should be able to get a friend to help you when you need to do bigger trips. Yeah, my friend Rowan and Jared, they're married. They're the ones I'm staying with. I'm in their basement. They have family and everything up in Salt Lake, so we go up there all the time. So it's really not that big of a deal. If I really needed to get up there, I could. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. So it's mostly just the feeling of, you know, I can't just hop in a car and go somewhere when I want to, even though I don't really do that. It's that not having an option that's a little unnerving. But yeah, I thought about it. My car is coming up on 100,000 miles, which, I mean, it's in great shape. I don't expect anything to go wrong with it, but, you know, most cars usually after 100,000 miles is when you start having to look at, you know, some maintenance things. It's got, I don't know, another, I think, 6,000 miles before it hits the 100K mark. So I'm not, like, worried about selling it to somebody and then, you know, breaking or anything like that. And I don't think it's going to break anytime soon. But it is a concern. It was like, okay, if something did break, like, I'm barely able to keep the car paid for at the moment. So, like, if something does break, I definitely can't fix it. So, yeah, I'm going to sell it, and it's been interesting. So, I have that sort of nervousness of like, oh, I can't just hop in the cart and go somewhere. But then also realizing I'm not going to have this huge expense every month for the car to sit in the driveway 90% of the time. And that means I can actually get ahead. So it's been an interesting whirlwind of emotions about it over the past couple days. I know that feeling. I got that when I got sick enough I couldn't ride on my scooter anymore. It's hard, but you do get used to it. Yeah. I had to go for a while without a car. Like I said, when I lived in Orem. Which was interesting. At that time I could actually afford a car. But because of Um, I had just started a new job, and the job prior to that was a 1099. So it was a contractor, so most loan places didn't view it as like a stable job. So I had a really hard time getting a loan. So even though I had money to put down and everything else. So I actually kind of got used to not having a car and just taking Uber and Lyft wherever I wanted to go. And found it's actually cheaper than owning a car in a lot of cases. Unless you're commuting every day for around here, it's actually cheaper not to have a car, which is kind of weird. You have to budget a little bit more, but I think the financial boost may help a lot with the stress you've been dealing. Absolutely. Honestly, they say money can't buy happiness, and I think those people have never been dirt poor. Because while it doesn't directly buy happiness, it does buy peace of mind, which relates directly to happiness. You're liars, yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's gonna mean a lot better budget, and I just picked up a private GM'd game, which is gonna help a good bit too. Mochi is happiness. Mochi is good stuff. So yeah, I just picked up a GMing gig as well, which is gonna help. It's gonna be on Saturday, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be a Star Wars game, so I'm excited about it. I love Star Wars. So yeah, things are looking a lot better. I've been stressing over that stupid car, thinking, well, I've got to have that because my original plan was to do Uber or Postmates or whatever to make some extra money. And then I realized I'm putting in 50 to 60 hours a week on this. I don't have time or energy to do anything else after that. And honestly, this is more important to me than anything else. It's what I want to do. So, yeah, it makes more sense to get rid of the car. So, I'll be sad to see it go, but I'm really excited to not have that weight on my shoulders. That's awesome. I've been keeping you in mind when people get talking about wishing they had a DM. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've been jamming, on here for several months now. But a friend of mine, Tasha, who does Tales Off the Table, if you're not already following her channel, let me do a shout out to Tales Off the Table. There we go. Fantastic GM. She does it professionally as well, and she's given me, she's been doing it longer than I have, so she's giving me tips and hints and advice on how to tweak my ads, and boy, fantastic advice. I made some changes and immediately, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours after I did that, I had somebody asking me about GMing, so it was fantastic. Hey, Econorlax! Hi, I'm lurking since the beginning. Oh, cool. Thanks for the lurk. I very much appreciate it. Hey, Etchy, how goes? Yeah, how are you doing, Econorlax? I was really excited to find this particular track. Actually, so excited. I'm going to start it over again so I can hear it. So I'm a huge Final Fantasy VIII fan. Anybody that's known me for very long probably already knows that. I get so much flack because I did not like Final Fantasy VII. I don't enjoy it. I know so many people do, and I'm just like, eh. Final Fantasy VIII, absolute favorite one. And it's really hard to find the music that plays. I can't remember the name of the zone, but it's where you go to find the brothers, GF. And it's just like the prettiest music, especially this part right here. And I couldn't find it on any Final Fantasy VIII collection, and I finally found one on Spotify, and I was like, yes! Love this music. I think Econorlax may have gone back into lurk mode. Either that or I'm suffering from the dreaded chat lag. If I seem scatterbrained, it's because I've got both the book PDFs open, the character sheet popped out, my calculator, and sticky notes all over my screen. No worries. Scatter, I was actually just talking about today about being a DM with ADD. Scatterbrained is my normal state of mind, so don't even worry about it. I'm actually working on a DM's guide for. It's not specifically for DMs with ADD or ADHD, though it will help a lot with that, I think. So I'm writing a DM's guide for how do you run a campaign or a session when you don't have hours to prep, especially with encounters. So just tips and tricks and little shortcuts that I've developed and found over the years, to where you can run a campaign or a session that has challenging encounters. Everything feels unique and fleshed out and all that without having to spend 2 hours in the monster manual printing out page after page after page of stat blocks. It's also going to talk a lot about how do you take some shortcuts to get your story across too without having to spend hours world building as well. I Can Relax says, just wondering how to answer this question, how I'm doing. That's fair, which is kind of telltale of not good. Sorry to hear that. But it's also a cultural difference. I'm not sure about the question in general. That's complicated. It's customary for you Americans to answer with good, or for Slavs like me to answer as usual crap. It's a genuine question. You don't have to answer with, the typical answers of, like I'm fine or whatever. So definitely not here. Yeah, we're genuinely interested to know how you're really doing. Agent Chaos says, you're lucky I'm not drawing him yet. I'm thinking of doing him in more sketchy style. Cool. Well, if it helps Eki when I ask how goes, I typically mean how are things going for you, honestly. Yeah, exactly. I'm okay with people not being okay. Same. It's perfectly fine to not be okay. That's one of the things that this stream is here for. Obviously, I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. And this certainly is not a replacement for therapy. But if you are having depression or anxiety or, just life's kicking you in the butt right now, this is a place you can talk about it. But since I'm not good with communication, the customary forums are mind-boggling things for me. Yeah, no worries. My typical answer is, well, I'm upright, aren't I? Yeah, I usually go for, I'm alive, I'm surviving. Lately it's been, overall things are great, but at the moment I feel like crap. Though honestly, today I'm actually doing pretty well. It's more like a question from the cook. How does it taste? Oh, I gotcha. I mentioned last week, as well, all of last week was just horrible. My best friend Rowan was up in Salt Lake, or up in Farmington, doing winter fair, as was another one of my good friends. And I was down here. So I'm used to being able to talk to them on a regular basis. And of course, 90% of my online friends through Twitch and Twitter and everything were at PAX U. So very few people to actually talk and interact with that I would normally do so. And that is the precise moment that my PTSD, anxiety, depression all decided to hit hard. I don't know which one is the cause and which one is the effect, but it wasn't a good combo. I just had a horrible week. A lot of it was stressing about money too, which thankfully now I don't have to as much, as long as I can get the car sold. So yeah, a lot of last week it was overall, things are actually looking pretty good at the moment. It's the end of the world. No, it's more like a question from the cook. How does it taste from the hostess you like? I gotcha. Chaos Boss, see, I asked that legitly because I love to cook food other people like. Same. And you wonder, does she want good or truth? In this case, we want truth. Agent Chaos Boss said, fiance's told me when she can't handle food I've made. I love bitters and spice. She doesn't. It's fair. I also tend to go for the earthier flavors, and usually bitter over sweet. So I totally get that. But yeah, definitely always in here. Would much rather hear how you're actually doing than, you know, somebody saying, "Oh, I'm fine," when they're not actually fine. There's other cool stuff going on right now, aside from selling my car, which doesn't sound like a cool thing, but the more I think about it, the more I sit on it, and now having slept on the decision, the more it's like, yeah, I'm excited. Get rid of the car and actually have a balanced budget. It'll be fantastic. So other than that, other cool things going on right now. It's finale week for us here at the Blackfeather Guild. We had our Peasant Strike Back finale on Monday. That was fantastic. So much fun. Oh, Agent Chaos says, also what part of Slav? I think I'm pronouncing that right. My paternal fam's out of Ukraine. Or like I said, Polish. Nice, gotcha. So yeah, tomorrow we're doing the finale of Star Chaser, which will be really fun. It'll be neat to see how Lucy and Gideon solve all the craziness that's happening on their spaceship that they're on. And then of course Saturday we'll have the finale of Badlands, which is going to go into a season 3, which will be cool. Really excited for that one actually, because we've got Riley coming back to play Sari again, and the next season I think is going to be a lot of fun and a lot of the way the story is going. Without giving you any spoilers, the way the story is going, next season I'm going to be able to do a lot of really cool and really weird stuff that I haven't been able to do prior to that, just because of how the story's been structured, and it's been a little bit more linear. The next season's going to be a little bit more episodic. There's still going to be, of course, a story arc going through the whole thing, but it's going to be a little more episodic, which means I can do really cool, crazy stuff. It'll be fun. So excited for the one-shots of Peasants. Yeah, that's going to be fun. We're kind of doing like a season 1.5 over the next few months. We're going to do one episode a month on our Friday one-shot schedule, which is going to cover sort of the 1 month period that happens between the end of season 1 of Peasant Strike Back and season 2, which will start in May. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah, season 2, it's going to be fun. So yeah, that stuff that's going on. What else is going on? We've got, you know, of course, Christmas coming up pretty soon, and there's a lot of other holidays that are happening this month that are all kind of centered in this middle section of the month, which folks are excited about. Are any of y'all doing anything cool for the holidays? Anything different this year? Will Moira seduce the succubus while Tor meet his children? I did up Moira's charisma. Her modifier is now 5 in charisma, so you never know. And her average roll will be a 15, just on the charisma alone, not including the skilled into persuasion or deception. Yeah, my December goals in 21st century were always same: survive till 3 kings. I think there's a reference in there that I'm not understanding, but I get the sentiment. Yeah, surviving December is always good. It's crazy here in Poland, the locals are so hell-bent on tradition. I can understand that. I grew up in the southeast U.S., which for most Americans, you all know what the South is like. For those not from the U.S., southeastern U.S. is very, very conservative. They call it the Bible Belt. So the ultra conservative Christian demographic is what you usually find in there. So tradition is huge, so I get that. Ruin says, gonna be running up and down the stairs. Sorry if I make noise. No worries. If you have been already, I haven't heard you. Three Kings holiday is the 6th of January. Okay, cool. That makes sense now. Haven't been yet. Okay. No worries. I doubt it'll be any louder than the neighbors, Rowan. That marks the end of the craze. Gotcha. I think for us, it's pretty much New Year's that kind of marks the end of the craze, and then everybody goes into January and we're just depressed until spring. Well, some people who have significant others get a little bit of a boost mid-February. The rest of us are just depressed until spring. Chaos says, I've got a Hanukkah gift to finish drawing. And let's see, a couple of Yule gifts to give. Yule dinner with local queer fam. Then like the 21st driving across the province to see the mom and in-law for a bit. Very cool, that sounds nice. Rowan says, sounds like a challenge. It also sounds like a challenge. It's a lot of stuff to do, but it sounds nice. And like make it so my fam can't guilt me into Christmas. That definitely sounds like a challenge. Excuse me. But you start, I guess we probably do start earlier. It's getting to a point now where it's like, okay, Halloween's over, it's Christmas. And I'm like, there's a whole huge holiday for our country in between Halloween and Christmas. Like, let's just push the brakes a bit. To be fair though, Thanksgiving and Christmas have similar themes of the whole, let's eat way too much food and get family together and things like that. And of course, as the years have gone on, it's been more, let's buy as many retail items as we possibly can at discounts. Just stupid. Sorry for any that do really enjoy Black Friday shopping. I think it's horrible. But if you enjoy it, you do you. But it's like the Charlie Brown Christmas special says, we definitely have commercialized the holiday a lot, and it's kind of bled over into Thanksgiving, I think. Here it's not right to start any Christmas mood before the 24th. Wow, okay. Chaos says they're getting to the point they think my not having contact with my birth creature has been enough years. I see. Of course, commercialization ate that barrier. Yep. You have to buy gifts earlier, and malls blast Wham since 1st of December. Last Christmas, yeah. I made a joke on Twitter not too long ago, actually, about Wham. I was doing something. I can't remember what it was. I think I was working on graphic art. And I had music going, so it's getting into Christmas mood because it was officially December. And the neighbor was making just all kinds of racket. The room I'm in, I think, used to not be 2 rooms. We're in sort of a duplex. And so the wall here is really thin. And they have a very, very loud dog that's in the room right next to here. I think it sleeps up against this wall that's shared. Which is normally not that big a deal. It's only really a problem when I'm trying to do things like, I don't know, sleep or stream. I was doing neither at this point though, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But Wham's Last Christmas came on, and it was just, you know, I usually play chaotic neutral characters. Personally, my own real life alignment I think is chaotic good. So that little bit of chaos and mischievousness, whichever word it is, came into play. So it's like, oh, Wham's Last Christmas. I'm not gonna blare it. I'm gonna turn up the volume just a little bit. So I told everybody, remember kids, when somebody annoys you, especially if they're being loud about it, don't yell at them, don't bang on the wall, anything like that. Just crank up some Wham Last Christmas and everything will be okay. To be fair, I like the song. It has good memories. I learned it in English classes in my high school, and the teacher was one of my all-time favorites. It is a good song. I like it too. I don't know why it annoys some people. It might be because it gets played so much, and there's like a billion covers of it. But I do really like it. That one and Paul McCartney's Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. I really like that one too, and a lot of people don't. My challenge is to one day play a successful, likable, lawful good. That is, no, admin. She said likable, lawful good character. I hate Superman. I know, I'll probably get some flack for that one. I really do not like Superman. I find him entirely unrelatable, way overpowered, and just... Honestly, I think he's a poorly written character. Not sure how this affects our relationship. Oddly enough, and granted, my only experience with Supergirl has been the CW show. So I have zero context for previous comics, previous shows, anything like that, movies, whatever. But the new CW show, I actually really like Supergirl. I actually find her relatable because unlike, you know, Clark Kent Superman in most representations, she seems like significantly fallible. She's not perfect. She also doesn't have a huge grasp on her powers. Like, she still screws up with her powers. So the whole show seems more relatable to me, and that's... So I actually don't mind Supergirl. I really enjoy the show for numerous reasons, but I enjoy that specific character in the show because of how they do it. But Superman is always just too perfect. Catching up with chat here. I think the humble character might be the way. One that does not force lawfulness deep down people's throats. Yeah. To be fair, all your points are pretty valid. Superman was created before power creep was really known or cared about. Same with a lot of old comics. So lawful good like Yoda. That's fair. And yeah, I think Superman was, I mean, clearly a product of his time. And I think back then it was probably what a lot of readers needed to see. And it was probably good for that time period. But now it's yeah, there's the whole power creep thing, and he's just so untouchable that it's like, it's not interesting. I have seen some representations which were, Smallville, for example. I loved that show when I was younger, because at that point Clark Kent, much like Kara Danvers, is not untouchable, still fallible, still trying to figure things out. There's something that you can relate to there. Nope, Yoda is teacher type. Shoving with the shovel. I don't know what that means. I think, like, instead of shoving it down your throat, it's like piling it onto you with a shovel. I sort of gone one in a non-tabletop RP, though she's made her companion lean more lawful, and he's made her more chaotic. Lawfulness down the throat. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I should play a lawful good character sometime just for the practice of it, because I hate lawful good characters. So it'd be really interesting to play one in a way that makes me not hate them. Teacher can be lawful good, and it's an alignment. Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon's a fantastic lawful good character. Well, I don't know. Is he really lawful good? I guess it depends on which version of Commissioner Gordon. And that might be because of Gotham has changed my perspective on him a little bit. Yeah, Captain America is definitely lawful good, I think. I'd say so. I like Captain America. He's I know he's sort of like the Marvel equivalent of Superman, but he's also a little bit more relatable. Hermione Granger, yeah. I think it's, with the lawful good characters, you have to get them out of the lawful situation, and then they're a little bit more likable. So if you think about Hermione Granger, everybody loves Hermione. But if the whole Harry Potter Voldemort adventure never happened, you only saw Hermione in school telling other people what to do, she wouldn't be that interesting of a character, I don't think. I don't think people would like her so much. Painfully chaotic good? I don't know. I think she got more into the chaotic realm because of the situation, not so much that that was her actual alignment. I mean, she really only broke the rules when she absolutely had to. Better at getting away with things. Yeah, Hermione's a weirdly spelled word. Her name. And Beth Davids? I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, I actually do have to come up with some characters here pretty soon, so maybe I'll do a lawful good character. It would be interesting. Definitely very hard for me to play. Chaotic characters are very easy for me to play, anywhere from chaotic good to chaotic evil. But lawful characters have always been very difficult for me to play because it's so outside of the way I think. I'm a very chaotic personality. I've never... I guess I can't really say never. It's rare that I see a rule that I don't think, that could be broken in certain instances, and I want to find those exceptions. Running back up and downstairs once more with feeling. Go, Rowan, go! Mr. Rogers, okay. Yeah, Mr. Rogers, that's actually not a bad example. You could be the one shot I want to be. Yeah, that'd be cool, April. With what you told me too, that would probably fit pretty well. It's hard to find a teacher that is not condescending at least once in a while. That's fair. Yeah, there's not very many. At least fictional ones that I can think of. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Just knocking everything down.
It sounds like it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I warned you.
I know. You're freaking the cat out, though. Glitch is losing her shit over here. Bob Ross did come to mind, too, yeah. This hoodie is my only example. Bob, yeah. It's gonna be there 6 years, so they'll be 16. M says hi! That is a Rowan. So as I mentioned, I'm in the basement, which I have my own like bedroom, like with a door and everything here. But right past the door is all the laundry stuff. So, and it's laundry day, so Rowan was, there's Rowan. Yeah, when you said like running up and down the stairs, I forgot you tend to launch your laundry basket down the stairs like a sled. Zero pairs of undershirts, zero underwear. I'm glad you're doing laundry then. Qui-Gon played around with lawful neutral, but he was always good. I actually say Qui-Gon was straight up chaotic good. Because, I mean, you had the lawful organization of the Jedi Order, and they're like, hey, Qui-Gon, you know, don't do this thing. And he's like, yeah, fuck that, I'm just gonna go do the thing. Because it's what I think is right. It's been 2.5 weeks. To be fair, that one was my convention stuff. That's fair. Know the feel about laundry. I can relax is what I mean. The student is in lower position and teacher in position of power, but in fact it means vulnerable position and position of responsibility. Yeah. Any teacher mixing it with position of importance is crossing line for me. Yeah, I could get that. Single chaotic action does not an alignment make. Okay, Yoda. But it's kind of implied that Qui-Gon goes against the overall ruling of the Jedi Council as a regular thing. Also brought up the Christmas stuff. Oh, okay. Y'all have fun. I gotta go back in from break. If you're still on when I get back, or when I go to lunch, I'll pop back in. Okay, cool. Thanks for stopping by, April. Appreciate it. And that's fair. A single chaotic action does not make you a chaotic character. I wouldn't think so, otherwise he would not have become a knight and taken on an apprentice. That's fair. Qui-Gon's definitely generally considered to be a more gray Jedi, though, which is usually a chaotic type of alignment. But I think there's certainly room for other viewpoints on that one. Anakin had to get his rebellious streak from somewhere. Why not Qui-Gon? I think Anakin got his rebellious streak from the Force. I can imagine Qui-Gon often thinking those idiots are just wrong and being right. Yeah. I could totally see Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan just leaning back, talking after the Jedi Council has, done their meeting or whatever, and Qui-Gon's like, yeah, that's gonna come back to bite him. And later, Obi-Wan going like, damn it, Qui-Gon, why do you always have to be right? Obi-Wan definitely had his moments, for sure. There's several lines that Obi-Wan definitely would not cross. Which were not like necessarily like evil lines. It was just like, I'm not gonna cross this because it goes against what I was told. But he definitely bends the rules when he can. Judy Hopps is great lawful good. Yeah, that's a good example too. That was a great movie. Like surprisingly really good movie. Okay, nothing new. Just checking the Twitter to see if somebody was actually talking at me, but they're just liking something I said earlier. Imagine that's how meeting in the Force heaven went after Yoda died. Okay. Admit you all the time right were. Have y'all seen Beastars? I have not. What is Beastars? Nobody has seen any of the movies you've seen. It's like a braver version of Zootopia. A braver... How is... But it's good. Edmund says, it's hard to find main characters as a single alignment because most of the time the plot involves them changing in some way. I agree. But yeah, there are plenty of ways and examples of excellent lawful good characters. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. It's 3D anime that is good. That's rare, yo. And you like all the weird movies nobody has ever seen and reference them, and it's so bizarre. Oh, yeah. I'm kind of the same way, though. The only difference is that I'm usually around other people who have seen the movies that typically nobody has ever seen, and so most of them will get it. I've seen gift sets of it. Let's be honest, D&D is not a role-playing heavy system, a system that actually promotes RP. Alignment's just a square in the sheet. I agree with that conditionally, and I'll mention those in a sec. Also, shout out to the random guy on the internet who thought for a second that Sherlock Holmes at any time was lawful good at any point in any iteration of his character. Yeah, I definitely would not consider Sherlock Holmes lawful good. Gosh dang it, Rowan, just watch it. You two are adorable. It's gay as heck, I approve. Fantastic. Rowan says, who the fuck thought that about Sherlock Holmes being lawful good? I second that. For most people, of course, you can agree on doing RP and using D&D for that and do that well, and then my general statement does not apply. So I've actually had many conversations and some quite long conversations with folks. The one that most specifically comes to mind recently is our DM for the Peasants games, Joshua Barbeau, talking about how a lot of people play D&D that way, and it's because a lot of people, the general sort of, ow, sorry, I just kicked my table. The general consensus sort of being the reason that people play it that way is because most people only read the player's handbook, which talks a ton about combat, because as players, that's a lot of what you need to know. But the Dungeon Master's Guide talks a lot more about the roleplay side and about, you know, the fact that rules are not a contract that you have to be bound to when you run a game. And this is coming from someone who used to have the same opinion that, oh, D&D is just super combat based and it's not the best system, you know, really for people that enjoy a lot of roleplay. But a lot of it comes down to how it's being run. So I would agree that yes, most people play it in a way that is super not RP heavy, and there's not as much room there for that. But if you kind of take it as a whole, it can actually be very good for roleplay. A lot of it depends on your GM and how they run things. Catching up. So I told you how people in middle school thought me and Em were a couple or something, right? Yes, you did, Rowan. Dibs on being the butch. Oh my god. Oh my god, Em, people are gonna get ideas. Spread rumors. Too late, I bring the lesbian out of the girls. Oh my gosh. Your milkshake brings all the girls to the art. That's hilarious. And yes, you did tell me that, Rowan. Y'all are hilarious. Yeah, my opinions on D&D have changed a lot over the last couple months. Specifically on D&D 5th edition, because I used to hate it. But I had some not great experiences initially with the system, which that coupled with being so familiar with 3.5 and 4th edition, I had a really hard time wrapping my head around some of the changes in 5th edition. I think a lot of it's because some things use similar wording, but it's different in how it works. Like the whole bonus action thing really threw me, because it's basically a swift action, that some abilities have little caveats where you can do this extra thing with your swift action. But the way it's worded on the rules, or at least how it was explained to me, didn't really make that clear. So I'm like, okay, so what is a bonus action? So yeah, I had not a great introduction to 5th edition, but now that I've actually been in it a little bit more, I've read more about it, I've DM'd a couple of games in it. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent, especially with all the companion material that's out there, especially Mage Hand Press. If you don't know who Mage Hand Press is, I'm not sponsored by them in any way or paid to say this. I just have seen a lot of their stuff, and I've been able to play with a couple of their modules and things through Scrat. It's freaking amazing stuff. If you like D&D, if you like 5th edition, go check out their stuff, especially their Weird West module. It's I guess not really a module, it's like a companion thing. Adds more classes and items and things like that. You can play, you know, the Wild West D&D style. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm not getting paid to say this, but go buy their stuff. It's cool. And they're cool people. Alright, catching up. Agent Cass says, girls are so stunned by my lack of gender that they swoon. It's I got them shakes riding that bisexual boat, huh? Rowan, some random person who posted an alignment chart with Sherlock in that slot. Yeah, that has never been his thing. He's at best chaotic good. Yeah. I could completely see chaotic good. Because, I mean, ultimately he does want to find the bad guy and, you know, and I think bring them to justice in most iterations of Sherlock Holmes. He generally won't break the law for personal gain, so I wouldn't say chaotic neutral. But yeah, he definitely has no qualms about breaking a law to bring about a better good. Any other pan-romantic aces in here? Good question. Admin, I would argue chaotic neutral. Just because he works with the law doesn't mean he's a good person, which he is definitely not. He works for his own agenda and his own interests. Kinda? I mean, kinda? That's what I meant. At best, chaotic good because he works with the law, but he doesn't do it for morally good reasons. He's certainly in the chaotic neutral. I guess it's been a while since I've broken out my copy of Sherlock Holmes. I want to say I remember him doing it basically for good reasons, just that he had no love for the authorities. Mostly for them being incompetent, compared to him. M says, I actually have a really hard time thinking about other people's boobs. Always considered them disgusting sacks of fat until I got married. I don't think I could be an actual lesbian. I blues danced with another heavily endowed chick, and man, that was hecka uncomfortable. Ekanor says, I think he's true neutral in the books. He wants to solve the mystery. That actually would make sense. Rowan says, oh, that's why Moriarty and him are two sides of the same coin. Sherlock could easily be Moriarty. Of course, I'm thinking mostly about the British Sherlock. Fair. The main reason was for solving the puzzle. I'm going to read again and delve deeper on it. Yeah, admittedly, I haven't had a whole lot of experience with Sherlock Holmes in film. I was a huge Sir Arthur Conan Doyle fan when I was younger, and I read through a lot of the stories, just the original text. And I believe in that one, yeah. He's more of a neutral rather than a chaotic neutral. I would say neutral to chaotic good, kind of in that diagonal on the chart. But yeah, there's a lot of creative license in film that I think could certainly make the argument that he's different alignments. And the puzzle is neither relation to morality or to the law equals neutral. Yeah. I should get around to reading Sherlock. They're really, really good books. And you can actually learn a lot about how to be situationally aware and observant through reading those stories. There's real world applications for reading Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a strange man. Yes. Who, although he wrote about a character that was obsessed with facts and truth, he was kind of obsessed with the supernatural. Believed in fairies, ghosts, seances. Yeah, Doyle was very, very different from Sherlock. Well, the author is just as interesting as the main character. Yeah. He was a very, very interesting person. Fact can often be stranger than fiction. That's why you hear so many times, like, I can't make this crap up after a really weird story. Yes, Glitch? Glitch says hello. But yeah. How did we get on that? Oh, wow, we were talking about lawful good characters. I was like, how did we get around to Sherlock Holmes? That sound. That is the cutest meow. I'll see if I can get her on the camera. If she'll let me pick her up.
Here.
Hi. People want to say hello to you. I know you don't like being held. Say hi. Wolf, stop going ragdoll. Say hello. See? This isn't so bad. She's just like, this is the worst thing ever. You get head pets. Go ahead and go down. Ironic, given the nature of Doyle and Sherlock. Cute meows, baby. Yeah. That's Glitch. She's a very, very chatty cat. Aren't ya? She's so funny. You can actually talk to Glitch and she will have a full conversation with you. You may not understand each other, but you could say something and she will meow back to you in different tones, meaning different things. What exactly she's saying, I don't know. But she's saying different things. It's cute. Cat is so needy but hates being held. That's Glitch in a nutshell, yeah. Barry's much the same way with me. So I think the general question of the stream, because I think some folks have come in since I started asking this, does anybody have any big holiday plans for Christmas, Hanukkah, Yuletide, whichever? Oh hey! Thank you. Thank you so much, Rowan, for gifting that sub to Agent Chaos Boss. Yeah, Agent Chaos, welcome to the family. I mean, you've always been in the family, but now it's official. You have a subscription. Survival is big for me. I prefer that to not Survivor. Yeah, that's true. Barry loves being held like a baby. Thank you, Rowan. So yeah, the question is, does anybody have plans for the holidays short of, just staying at home with their immediate family? Holding that 5 for Saturday, by the way. No, I'm gonna need it. Alright. Let me make a note, or I will forget that. Yes, if you want to do that in advance, that's totally fine. Saturday's gonna be really interesting. Because it's the finale, so you've got one episode to track down this new big bad that's creating weird thralls for next season. Yeah, Vinny might get beat up from an unexpected source too. It'll be interesting. I mean, I didn't say anything. What? What? Don't worry about it. Fine. I am looking forward to Saturday. It's gonna be pretty good. What are you gonna do with my boy? He's getting better. I might not be doing anything. It's not me, it's the characters. I am excited for Saturday though. I think it's gonna be pretty cool, and there is going to be a conclusion to season 2 of Badlands, and it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna introduce the next season really well. I'm super excited about it. And we do have Riley coming back for that one, so she'll be present for the finale, and then will be with us in season 3 as well. Not 100% sure if Vera will be able to make it or not to that one. By the way, if you aren't already following Vera, I believe I'm spelling this right. Go follow them on Twitter, because they're amazing, and definitely give them some loves and good thoughts. They've been having a rough time. They're currently in the hospital. I don't know any details, but they have been tweeting pretty much daily, so yeah, if they want to go into details, I will leave that up to them. But yeah, definitely give Vera a hello, a cute animal gif, anything that you think might cheer someone up, because they're amazing. So I hope they can make it on Saturday, but if not, there's definitely very legitimate reason. Yeah, Saturday will be good either way. With Riley coming back and the things we've got planned. Speaking of games and needing players, so Friday, I'm going to be doing a really simple holiday-themed, just like a D6 system game. I can add 2 to 4 more people into that if anybody's interested in playing. It's basically going to be like an evens or odds D6 system. Something really just super simple, and it'll be holiday themed, so it should be pretty fun. Hospitals are definitely not fun. I agree. Can't think of any instance where a hospital is fun. But yeah, I do have spots open on that. There's a spot open for Buggy's Christmas Boogaloo, I think is what he's titled it. That's on the 20th. We got a couple spots open for campaigns for season 3 as well. That's running from January to April. One for Lightbringer, one for Hunters of Calamity, and there's a spot for an AI character for Badlands for season 3. So Vanessa says she can do every second Wednesday for the Tickfall files, so I guess we can have a guest spot open constantly. That is entirely up to you. I can make that work on my end, no problem, Rowan. But yeah, if you want to have somebody trade off, or if you want to... I've certainly had plenty of people ask about that game, so I'm sure we could fill in a guest spot. M says I might be able to guess now and then. So I'm thinking, yeah, that would be totally fine. Totally depends on if the kids have homework. Gotcha. I think Twitch's viewer numbers system is super broken. Like, I've been noticing it's getting more and more inaccurate as time has gone on. I don't know what they're doing. But I just noticed it says 3 viewers, and I'm like, there's like 5 people talking in chat right now. Hey, Saito! How are you? Good to see you. Yes, hi Glitch. So the question of the day for this week's Tavern is, do you have any big holiday plans? Or any plans short of just hanging out at home? The lurk is real. I appreciate it. That's another one. If you're not already following Saito, do it! Because she's awesome. Holiday plans, I'm gonna spray paint my Christmas tree. That sounds interesting. What are you, what color are you gonna spray paint your tree? It's gonna go white to gray to black. That's kind of cool. Like a fade. That's cool. It's Christmas, I'm gonna die. No problem. Why are you gonna die, Rowan? Ugh, I've got a cat hair on the tip of my nose and it's driving me nuts. Thinking of everything I gotta do, it's a lot. I'm stressed. It's not convention stuff, right? I'm gonna make glow-in-the-dark Christmas stickers. That's cool! Or is it just normal Christmas stuff, Rowan? Nope, everything that was put off because of convention. Gotcha. That's fair. That's totally fair. So for me for Christmas, it will be preventing Rowan from dying. Oh, also, there's somebody has a birthday tomorrow, so if I can get some happy birthdays in chat, Rowan's got a birthday tomorrow. 1 art doll trade, sales taxes, and all my father-in-law's nativity set painted. Oh yeah, the nativity set stuff. Forgot again. I forgot too. Yeah, Yeah, it's Rowan's birthday tomorrow. We can get some happy birthday spam in the chat. Scared you for a moment? Why were you scared? I've got to trim a bunch of this year's art to size so I can print it off photo-sized and just spam the art. Spam that at folks for Christmas. Oh, that's nice. What do you know when's my birthday? But it's day after tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday, Econorlax, too. We got 2 birthdays coming up. Oof, I haven't had to deal with taxes yet. I'm so glad. Happy birthday, you. Happy birthday, Rowan. And happy birthday, Econorlax. Early. Oh, Rowan, I forgot to ask you too. I love that I'm just asking you on stream now. So you mentioned that the hairstyle school place has like super cheap Thursdays. Do you have to make an appointment or is it just like a walk-in? Because I'm thinking about if it's that cheap on a Thursday, I might hop over there tomorrow and get my haircut for the first time in for ages. It's a walk-in? Awesome. Do you want to go with me? Since I have no idea what to ask for. Need a haircut bad? Okay, cool. Let's go. We'll go tomorrow. So probably? Cool. Which begs the question. If you're up here, Arlie, could do your hair? Oh, that would be nice. It's my birthday. I can eat hair if I want to. Which speaking of that, good question for chat. What the heck should I do with my hair? So I have had very plain, very masculine haircuts most of my life for obvious reasons. Now I want something fancy and very girly, and I have no clue because nobody's taught me anything about that. Let the woman eat hair. So what style do you think I should have? Floss with that stuff, save money. Oh my god. Undercut pompadour? I have no idea what that looks like. Judging by Rowan's reaction, I'm gonna guess maybe not, but I'm saying yes. I could get you on a call with Arlie and she could go over some styles with you. Oh, that would be cool. Alright, I've got to look this up. An undercut pompadour? No. Hell no. That is very not me. Google haircuts for head types. So fun fact, I haven't had my hair cut in over 2 years. So Pinterest it. I thought about that, but I really don't know what I want. I'm tempted to just be like, you know, if there's not a general idea from chat and Twitter. Twitter has suggested I get bangs. I don't hate Pinterest. I don't not hate Pinterest, but I don't hate Pinterest. Biased towards hairstyles that are easy and look like they belong in cyberpunk. I'm not so much of a cyberpunk girl. But I do like easy hairstyles. Because I am lazy when it comes to, fixing myself up. Really, Rowan? You like the punk hairstyles? That just doesn't sound like you at all. I did think of something like maybe like some kind of bob haircut might be kind of cool. It's TSB. But I may just go in there and be like, hey, what would look good? Go for it. As long as it's not too short. I still want to have, like, you know, chin length hair at least. Sarcasm detected. Boom, you broke it. But yeah, that sounds like fun. Go get a haircut tomorrow. Can make myself look presentable. I'm also really excited to give you your birthday present tomorrow, Rowan, because it's gonna be really, really cool. We can chat about hairstyles here too. Yeah. The Blackfeather Tavern is literally for talking about literally anything. Well, there's a few topics maybe we won't talk about. But just about anything. I mean, here at my house. That too. Because we are talking here at your house. And also on the street. It's both. What? Did you want to say hi again? I'm pretty sure you don't want me to pick you up. Damn it, Barry, I need my legs at some point. We do not talk about the penis in the tavern. Not typically, no. And since I'm excited to see your haircut, thank you. I am excited to see it too when I figure out what it's gonna be. Hi, yes. You're being very distracting, kiddo. But, yeah, that's cool. So, again, happy birthday to Rowan and Eknorlex. That's awesome. How old are you going to be if that's not too impertinent of a question to ask both of you? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. What? 38? Cool. Very cool. I would definitely say you don't look 38. You look a lot younger. And I know how old Rowan's gonna be. But I thought I would ask anyways, in case you want to share. Which, I need that hand back. Anyways. So how is everybody doing today? We've heard how I think Eknor and Chaos and myself are doing, but how are you and M, Admin, Saito? How are all of y'all doing? This is also one of my favorite tracks. Something about Kirby just like in this super swingy jazz style is really cool. I made a sacred vow not to lose the beard until 40. I want to buy my beer when I want without showing my ID. I get that. I've had the weirdest craving for beer today, like a really good, thick, stout beer. I haven't really craved beer in a while, but earlier today I was just like, man, I could really go for like a Guinness or like an oatmeal stout would be amazing too. I'm good. Kirby has some great tracks, right? It's just really cool music. I remember I still have actually, Kirby's Dreamland for Game Boy. But I remember when I was a kid, having my little Game Boy and going through the music tracks and listening to them and just really enjoying it. Now I want some St. Ambrose apricot ale. Okay, back to work, but I'm lurking. Alright, Rowan. Speaking of work, I'm gonna try to work on that that DM guide some more today. I'm gonna try working on that, and I still have to figure out sort of some playbooks for Hunters of Calamity. So that's the Borderlands inspired game that I'm going to be doing in January. And I want to do Monster of the Week, or Powered by the Apocalypse. And I went online. I found a couple of systems where people had kind of adapted it to that whole setting. But I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about them, so I'm gonna try to make my own. So I should probably get on that before January. Got to do that, and with this new private game that I got, it's pretty cool. We're doing Star Wars, which I'm super familiar with, especially the old expanded universe, which is what we're going to be using. But it's the was it Final Flight or Fantasy Flight games? That's what it is. Fantasy Flight games version, which I'm not familiar with that system. I was given the PDFs for it, and I'm going to be reading up on that and learning it. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It looks really cool. Looks like a pretty simple system to play in. Love me some Fantasy Flight products. That's cool. The dice look a little bizarre at first glance, but reading the description of how it works, it sounds a lot like, actually kind of a lot like sort of a Powered by the Apocalypse type style, where it's, if it's on this end of the dice, then it's this thing. If it's on that end of the dice, it's another thing, which I find intriguing. So yeah, I've got a lot of reading and writing to do, which is why I'm kind of glad for the break coming up over Christmas, because that'll give me a chance to get a lot of that kind of work done. Finally got all the cover art done for next season, but I do need to make some concept art and pictures for the new Lightbringer. Oh yeah, actually a few Lightbringer, Hunters of Calamity, and Legends of the Badlands for next season. So might do a lot of that too with the break. Yeah, it's my first experience with Fantasy Flight products, so it'll be interesting. Looking forward to learning more about it. With that, I have other things that I could talk about myself, but I am really trying to keep this as much about all of you as I can. So rather than drone on about my own stuff, do any of you guys have, guys, gals, or non-binary pals, as the saying goes, have anything that you want to talk about? Anything going on with you that you'd want to vent about or share some good news about? Feel free. I feel like I've been talking about myself a lot. Last tabletop game I was in for a full game was a last tabletop game I was in for a full game was a Changeling of the Lost. What's that about? That sounds really interesting. Googling haircut ideas. Thanks. World of Darkness, New World. Not to sound like a broken record, but what's that about? I'm not familiar with that one. Hey, Lapis! How's it going?
Hello there.
Oh, it's a vampire LARP. That sounds cool. So Lapis, the question for this week is, why is it not letting you do Senpai?
Senpai.
There we go. Oh, I think that might be... Yeah, that is a sub-only sound. That's why. Oh, no worries. I got you covered. So the question for this week is, do you have any big plans coming up for the holidays? Christmas, Hanukkah, Yule, any other December holiday that you might celebrate? World of Darkness, Masquerade, Mage, Werewolf. Oh, okay. Human Games, Hunter, Werewolf, Mage, Changeling, Vampire, and a few others, I think. That sounds pretty neat. Negative Man will probably go to my girlfriend's family for Christmas, but that's about it. That's fair. I will be heading up with Rowan and Jared up to Riverton again to spend Christmas with their family. But that's about it. I don't have any huge plans. Probably for most of it, I will be getting a lot of the off-camera work done for Season 3 coming up in January. I was actually just talking about that, learning a new system that I'm doing for a private game, and writing playbooks for Hunters of Calamity, coming up with images and stuff for everything too. Hard to believe you had no contact with Vampire the Masquerade. That one, it does sound familiar. I've never played it, but I have seen some folks on Twitter talking about their Vampire the Masquerade game, and it looks interesting. But I'm not super familiar with like the lore or anything like that with it. I've never played it. It's its own game world. There's the old world games that has an end game campaign. That's cool. So far I personally think you'd look good with bangs and maybe a longer bob, or something with layers. Gotta frame that beautiful oval head of yours. All things. Well, that's good to know I was kind of on the right track, because I was thinking like a longer bob as well might look good. Or you know, something with layers. I didn't think I would look very good with bangs, but just about everybody I've talked to has been like, oh yeah, you should get bangs. I'm like, okay. Could try that. I shook up my Snapple drink and the lid wasn't on all the way, and I just spewed on my... Oh no. Bangs. I haven't heard Snapple outside of a joke in years. I didn't even know they still made Snapple. I'm glad they do, because I love those things, but I haven't seen one in ages. Changing the Lost is set in the new ongoing world. You're human, stolen by the Fae, and changed by your time there. You've escaped past the hedge and back to Earth. Interesting. What? Snapple's amazing. It is amazing. I don't really see it anymore. Get whooshy bangs? Okay. What makes bangs whooshy versus regular bangs? They make plastic bottles now. Oh, that's sad. I mean, probably better for the environment or something. I don't know. I'm not sure which is better, glass bottles or plastic bottles. Seems like glass ones have more waste. Plastic is worse. Well, there you go. All around awe. I really liked the glass Snapple bottles. Do they still have like the metal lid that snaps when you open it? Snapple's all over up here. Man, Utah's just behind the times, I guess. Or either that, I'm completely unobservant and they are here and I just haven't noticed them. Length and a layered cut. So, whooshy bangs with a layered cut, and what about the length? Too much sodium in Utah? Well, we do have the Great Salt Lake, so that makes sense. Don't get straight bangs, get bangs that go whoosh when you flip your hair. That sounds amazing. I'm good with that. And that probably is a little bit easier to like move back, I guess, or hide with a hat. I'd say 95% of the people that I know that I'm transgender, but my family doesn't, and occasionally I have to send them a picture so they remember what I look like, because they demand it. And I'm not ready to have that conversation with them yet, so being able to hide it would be good for that. 95% of the time I don't care though. I'm just me. But whoosh bangs sound great. I've been to Salt Lake before, but only for a bit while I moved from Ohio to Cali. So longer bangs with layers. Longer bangs with layers sounds really good. I think I probably will go with that. I'm all up in Canada. Makes sense. Yeah, Utah's interesting. It's like I don't hate it here. I've been here over a decade, and there's a lot about Utah that I really like. But it is a completely different world. Like every state has sort of like their own little, quirks and their own state culture. But Utah really is. It's almost like being in a different country. It's very different. Oh, geez, do you have to fake a style when you take pics for them? I do. No, that's cool. I don't mind. Yeah, my family's the only people I haven't told, and that's because they live in very, very, very southern Alabama, and they are very, very southern Alabama. Everything that you would think along with being in southern Alabama, that is, whatever you're thinking, it's probably correct. I love my family, but yeah, I don't think they're ready to have that conversation. Yeah, it's a little difficult. It's gotten a lot easier since I've kind of been able to accept myself for myself more, and I've gotten away from all that. I've been able to grow as a person a ton over the past couple of years, and so that's kind of made it easier because I don't feel like I need that family interaction. Plus, I have way more family now through folks like Rowan and her family, chosen family rather than birth family. Yeah, I'm fine, but it does suck that I can't share that with them. Pretty sure it would literally kill my grandmother. So, I think my grandfather would probably be okay after a while. My stepdad would probably be okay after a little while. My mom and my grandmother, I think it might kill them though. Out of just sheer shock and outrage. So what goes on in the Tavern day? Not too much. We've just been chatting. We had an interesting discussion about alignments and how there was the opinion that lawful good characters suck in general, and then there's some pretty good counterpoints to say that no, they don't suck. There's actually some pretty good lawful good characters. I think the general consensus is that it's just really easy to screw up playing or writing a lawful good character. But if you do it right, it can be really, really good. Balance, right? Yeah. I mentioned that Superman's a horribly written character, and I don't like Superman. And then I think Admin Anonymous and I almost weren't friends after I said that. But we had a good discussion about it, actually. There's actually some iterations of Superman that I don't mind. My mom would die if I ever left the church or changed gender or something like that. Yeah. My family is extremely Southern Baptist, so yeah. Credit where credit's due, though. My mother has certainly come a long way in being a little bit more tolerant and understanding of different ways of life. Yeah, she's definitely not ready to hear that I'm transgender. I'm pretty sure. Superman is a really hard character to work with. Yeah, it's just... my issue with Superman is I'd say in like 90% plus of the times that you see Superman, the iterations, the stories that he's in, he is 100% unrelatable. Like even Clark Kent is like just perfect. And I made the argument, I do like Supergirl. The CW show is my only experience with the character. But I like Supergirl because she is fallible and she's somewhat relatable. And she doesn't have, that perfect grasp of her powers, so she still screws up sometimes. But that's also why I like Smallville, because that's sort of, Superman before he's really Superman. And so he becomes a little bit more relatable that way. I think there's a lot of similarity between LG and CE concerning party play. Lawful good and chaotic evil. It's really hard to find, to fit this extreme into a working environment. Yes, it would be way easier in one-on-one games. They're not bad alignments, they're just very solitary. Yeah. In general, I agree with you, though for some reason I'm not trying to brag, but I feel like I can pull off chaotic evil characters really well and easily. Or chaotic evil. I think I said chaotic good. Chaotic evil. I really, really enjoy messing around with chaotic evil characters. They're fun. But yeah, in general, in a lot of situations, they are hard to implement in a way that's not rapidly destructive. Lapis says, I was raised in the church, and I have chosen to be in the church still today. The churches I go to don't turn down LGBT plus from entering because, like, well, we all know that's dumb. Yeah, same. I'm still very much a Christian. I'm very much rooted in that faith. And obviously, you know, sort of realizing that I'm transgender and I'm also bisexual, that certainly prompted a lot of like, wait, now I'm having a crisis of belief. That actually drove me to do a lot of research and not just soul searching, but like digging into like, all right, what are these scriptures that people use to say that it's a sin? And figure out, you know, like, I don't feel like what I'm doing is wrong, according to my religious beliefs, but a lot of people say it is. So I did a ton of research. I actually wrote a whole paper on it with cited sources and everything. And I determined that based on my interpretation of things and looking at the context of what was written, where it was written, the time it was written, and who it was written for, personally, I don't believe being lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, or any of that is actually condemned in the New Testament. For me, that is a whole huge debate I could go into with lots of folks, and I won't go into it on this. But just for the purpose of saying, you know, like, because a lot of people ask me, like, oh, how can you be Christian and, you know, bi and transgender? That's why. If anybody does want to talk about that at some point, there actually is a channel on our Discord server that is specifically for heavy topics like that can have the potential to be heated or controversial. So if you do want to check it out and enjoy the debate there, there are obviously some rules about being respectful and whatnot, and at some point you'll probably have to agree to disagree on some things. But we do encourage folks to share ideas like that in that specific channel, because we know if we go in there, that's what to expect. So don't talk about it everywhere, but there is a space for that, and that's on blackfeather.club. Good characters have a good weakness. Yes, I agree. Unless your inner angst with a chaotic evil character. Or unleash your inner angst with a chaotic evil character, yes. Haha, yeah, I feel that. I think most denominations forget that Old Testament was written for Jewish people. Yeah. Christians should well follow the Christ. Yes. That's one of my favorite things when somebody is obviously being hateful towards me and it's like, well, the Bible says, and they quote me some verse from the Old Testament that talks about, you know, how being homosexual is bad or a sin. I'm like, you realize in that exact same chapter, in that exact same book, like 2 verses away from that particular one, also talks about how if you don't have, I think it's tassels on each corner of your prayer shawl, that you're going to hell. So I'm like, again, context is huge when you're going to read any religious text. You can't cherry pick little bits and pieces out of it and expect to get the whole story or know what the whole meaning behind it is. And that's not just the Bible, that's literally any religious text. If it's written as a whole, it's meant to be taken as a whole, not as little sound bites. But that's always one of my favorite ones to bring up. I'm like, yeah, your argument isn't really valid there. We took care of that in the New Testament. Anyways, I digress. Literally said in several places he brings new lust. Yes, he does. Hey, Savannah, how are you? Hello there.
Hello there.
How are you doing, Savannah? So, walked in on a really interesting conversation about Christianity and LGBT. Not going too in depth into that. I was just mentioning we have a channel for talking about stuff like that on our Discord. But we were talking about hairstyles and that my family, like blood family, doesn't know that I'm transgender. So I do need something that I could like put a hat on or something like that and take a picture just so they know I'm alive and whatnot without having to reveal that you know, I'm a girl. It's gonna get a privacy error when clicking the link. Let me double check it. Make sure it's working. Connection is not private. That's weird. It should be working, because all it does is forward you to the Discord link. You try it with, Okay, that works. For some reason, it needs the HTTP to not give you that weird error. There you go. I did see a comic with Superman that I really liked. Him and Green Lantern got sent to hell, and Superman's super hearing made him hear all the groanings of hell, and he went into like this shock state and was totally useless. Wow. Subject to real what? Yeah. So I'm doing well. This week has been really good for me, so I'm like, how are you? I'm actually doing really good today. This whole last week was horrible. I had tons of stress and anxiety, depression, and I think I mentioned briefly last week like how like Rowan was out of town, and then all my other online friends were all at PAX U, so I like had nobody to talk to, and that's when I had the really bad anxiety attacks happen and stuff like that. It was just really bad combination of things. But I'm actually doing really good today. So something I was talking about earlier, I made the decision I'm going to sell my car because I really don't need it. It's one of those things where it's really nice to have the option, but I'm realizing like I can get by without it, and it's a huge expense every month to sit in the driveway most of the time. So I'm selling my car, which has actually got me really excited because that means that's a huge chunk of money I don't have to worry about. And then I also got a private tabletop game set up now, a paid gig, which is going to be happening on Saturdays. It looks like, still ironing out some details, but it looks like it's going to be all good to go for every Saturday, which is going to help out a lot. Still looking to add more private games to my schedule. But yeah, getting that gig last night and then making the decision to sell the car like all at the same time and realizing like, wow, that's a huge shift for my budget, which makes me so much happier. Raven, if you take your hair and twist it into a rope, you can coil it on the top of your head to fit in most hats. That's a good point. My parents, they do know that I have long hair, so that's not too big of a deal. But that was my worry with bangs, was, you know, you don't really see many masculine haircuts that have bangs. So that was really my only concern, was just that with bangs. Otherwise, I can put on a hat, or, you know, bobby pin it or whatever. Oh, thanks, Sam. Thanks. And thank you, Savannah. Yeah. So it was on a day I could. But yeah, it has actually been really, really kind of cool. It's one of the reasons I do want to get my hair cut, is because I'm not trying to be anything other than what I am now. I don't have to worry about not getting a job, because, you know, dressing female but still, you know, looking somewhat masculine, obviously, and obviously having the deep voice. It's a real worry about going to job interviews and things like that. It's why all these jobs that I interviewed for recently, when I say recently, it was actually like a couple months ago. That's when I decided to start doing this like all in. But after I got laid off, all the jobs I went to, I presented male when I went to go interview because of that worry. And now I'm not really worried about that because I'm working for myself, doing something that I really want to do. It's one of the reasons I want to go get my hair cut, so I can feel more me. Oh damn, the H3H3 podcast was canceled by K-pop fans. Yeah, I saw that whole thing. I saw what he said too, and was like, yeah, that was not the smartest thing to say there, buddy. Actually had a final interview on Monday and I got just awesome. That's fantastic. I think I remember you were saying that you had an interview coming up or something like that. So that's exciting. Is it still where you are, or are you still moving, I think, to New England, I think was the goal? Need to DM you about it because it might be beneficial to you. It's remote. Oh, cool. Sure. Hey, Georgie, how are you? How's it going?
Hello there.
So the question for you, Georgie, for everyone coming in is, do you have any big holiday plans? Anything beyond just hanging out at home? There's been some interesting ones. For me, I'm heading up north, excuse me, with Rowan and Jared to spend Christmas with their family. What was the reason for all the cancellation? What did he say? He said some... I don't remember exactly what he said off the top of my head, but it was kind of homophobic and transphobic, what he was saying. It was very poorly worded. I don't necessarily know that he meant it as such a slur. It was definitely poorly worded. I understand why people got really offended. Ooh, yes, I'm staying at the beach for Christmas and New Year's. Oh, that's awesome. I love the beach. I was just talking the other day about how it's really weird that I feel most at home by the ocean. So anywhere where there's a coast, and the ocean and fishing and boats and things like that. And so of course I live literally in the middle of a desert, because that makes sense. Savannah says, I'm going to be staying in Louisiana for hopefully only another year or two, and then I'm wanting to move to New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Interesting. I haven't met too many people that say they want to move to New Jersey, so that's interesting. Pennsylvania is beautiful, though, I understand. And I'm sure New Jersey is fine. I just don't hear many people say they want to move there. What time zone are you in? I'm in Mountain Time. So Mountain Time zone, I am 2 hours behind Eastern. And if for any reason availability is an issue, I'm usually available during the day, but I'm not available after 5 my time for anything because of streaming. Catch up here. Oh, hey, Lapis. Oh, jeez. If you ever want the ocean, come up here to visit. We're on an island. That's awesome. I would love to. It's where most of my family is, and it always felt like home, so I'm like... Also, when would be the best time to DM you about it? Anytime, really. I'm working on things tonight, but I don't have any streams tonight, so... we're gonna keep going with this for a little bit longer. Probably another 40 minutes or so. But once this is over, yeah, I'm not doing anything other than working on off-camera stuff. I'm gonna go and do things now. Love y'all. Bye, Em. Love you too. Very good to talk to you and see ya. Have a good day. Okay, I'll shoot you a message for streaming. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, so those are some exciting things. Deciding to sell the car, getting the GM gig. I also picked up a freelance writing gig too. That was pretty cool. That should start relatively soon. That's just it's not like an ongoing thing, but it's a project that I can work on that's allows me to write. And I was also talking about I'm writing a DM's guide right now that I'm gonna hopefully have up on DM's Guild. I'm hoping before the end of the year, but may not be realistic. So definitely before the end of January. But it's gonna be about how do you DM a really good session when you don't have the time to prep. So shortcuts and tips and tricks that you can use to still have a very engaging story and challenging encounters without having to spend 2 or 3 hours going through stat blocks and monster manuals and things like that prepping beforehand. Also how you can create encounters on the fly without it having to be like, okay, hold on, let me shuffle these 5 books. You can just immediately go, okay, boom, 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 here's the bad guys, here's the initiative roll, and jump right into it. Joshua was providing live example yesterday. Example of how to do that without a lot of prep. just make sure I'm on the same page because of chat lag. The island's pretty cool. It's a rainforest, so all the colors of green you can imagine. That sounds amazing. And the strait has some of the best biodiversity in the world, so a ton of marine biology stuff. That's awesome. So you're in Canada. Are you, I want to say, on the west coast of Canada? Or was it the east coast? I can't remember where you said you were, where y'all were. West coast, cool. He got late to Scott's stream, and Scott DM'd for first 10 minutes, derailing some plans Joshua needed to straighten back out. Vancouver Island. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I did see that. I wasn't able to stay for the whole stream, but I did see the first part of that. That was funny. Yeah, so the whole point of the guide is to help DMs who just have really busy lives but still want to DM do that. And also for new ones that, take one look at the monster manual and their eyes glaze over and they go, no, I can't do this. Basically showing like, yeah, you can. You don't have to spend hours or have an encyclopedic knowledge of all the creatures in D&D. You can use these steps to still do it without any problem. And yeah, also for those times where your party does something like okay, so you can clearly see your goal. And they're like, what else is around? There's some dark alley that's clearly a bad idea to go down, and it has a sign saying keep out. And your objective is literally right in front of you, and they go, I want to check out the dark alley. Crap. So when they do that, inevitably, you can quickly pull out some units to make the encounter just on the fly without having to sit there flipping through a book. Cool places to look up locally. Cathedral Grove. I'm gonna butcher this. Rathrathor Beach. Little Quallison Falls, the Royal BC Museum, Botanical Beach, Goldstream Park. Those all sound really cool. Danger Bay is my first thought. This fire crackling is so cozy. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with the whole tavern thing is just chilling in a tavern or a pub or a coffee shop with a fire and just relaxing. It's funny, I don't know if it's just because of the cold weather or the fact that I was doing the tavern today or what, but I was mentioning earlier, I had the like strangest sudden craving for a really good dark stout beer earlier today. I was like, man, I wish I had a Guinness or an oatmeal stout or something. Because that'd be the perfect thing to drink while doing this. No, but I'm by the back end of the castle they use for the X mansion in the movies. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Oh. Was an extra in the third. Oh, really? That's awesome. And then Savannah, I can't remember. I think you came in after we were talking about the hair, so I'm gonna get my hair cut tomorrow. We're also talking about what I should do. And I think the consensus apparently with everybody is that I should get whooshy bangs and some sort of layered haircut. Because I was in my 20s and looked 12. Oh my god, bangs would be so cute. Like, yeah, longer bangs was what I was told. Literally everyone I've talked to was like, oh my god, yes, you should get bangs. Which, given that I was mentioning earlier, like, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Like, I don't know how to girl in a lot of ways because I was never taught growing up. So like Rowan's been teaching me a ton about makeup, which I'm very lazy about doing, so I don't often do it. But still, like, knowing how is awesome. But I also don't know about, like, women's haircuts and things like that. So I'm learning a lot. But I haven't had my hair cut in like 2 years. So I was like, people tell me how to cut my hair. How do I get it cut? because I want to try something. I want to try something new. As much as I enjoy long hair, it being this long is getting annoying because I can like sit back and then tilt my head up and I'm pulling my hair at the moment because my hair's too long. Don't even stress about properly curling. I appreciate that. Generally, I don't. But it would be nice to know how, even if I don't always do it. It's a big deal. 2 years is a long time. Yeah. Actually, oddly personal story about that, I guess, which I don't mind sharing. But yeah, the last time I got my hair cut was right before my divorce. Well, it was right before my mom's wedding. And then when I got back from my mom's wedding, that's when I found out I was getting a divorce. Long story there. But yeah, I haven't cut my hair since. And a large part of that just because I wanted to grow it out, but yeah, I just haven't cut it since then. So it'll be my first time cutting my hair since then, which I think will be very therapeutic. If you have questions about makeup or anything, really, please let me know. My mom has gotten into makeup in the last year, so I'm teaching her bits and pieces. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I might. It has been really nice because I'm in the basement of Rowan and Jared's house, and Rowan does a ton of makeup stuff. It's like her thing, one of her things. So Rowan's been teaching me a lot about it too, and so yeah, it's nice having somebody that did theater makeup for a while, things like that in the house. It's been great. Oh wow, that's super awful. I can understand how much it means to cut it now. Yeah. And yeah, I also being, out to everybody basically, other than my family that live in Alabama. So I feel like I don't have to have a neutral haircut anymore. Or at least not nearly as neutral. Because this, I mean, I can put it in a ponytail and yeah, that can be a masculine or feminine haircut. Also ask Elvira for the tutorial she's been using. Okay. I'm such a snob with eyebrows because I went through so many bad eyebrow phases and I never want anyone to go through that. That's fair. I tend to not do a lot to my eyebrows. I think in large part of fear of messing it up. But also I don't mind mine that much. As well as Google search braiding hair. So yeah, I'm terrible at making ponytails and braiding my hair by myself. If I do a ponytail, it almost always ends up like cocked to the side or something. I'm just terrible at it. Some pictures to show you if you want to see. It was awful. Sure. I don't mind. Yeah, that's a huge reason why I haven't tried to do it myself with a lot of like shaving or plucking or anything like that. Like I'll shave like right here a bit and shape a little bit like right on my nose, but other than that I leave it alone. But I'll find you better tutorials on how to do it different ways. That's cool. There we go. Had a notification on Discord, just making sure it wasn't anything urgent. It's not. But yeah, I am looking forward to having a shorter hairstyle and an actual hairstyle, not just well, it's long. Yeah, it'll be fun. I eventually want to get it colored as well, but that's expensive to keep up and I need to make more money first. Ask the hairstyle or hairdresser for styling tips too. Yes, I plan to. I'm gonna be going to a hairstyle school because they do, I think Rowan said it's like $4 on Thursdays. And $4 I could swing. $40, not so much. Well, that's usually, I think, more than 40 for those types of hairstyles anyways, but yeah. I am extremely poor at the moment, though very excited that I won't be as poor very soon. Assuming I can sell the car, it's going to be so huge. My car is like... It's over 50% of my budget every month right now. Do you have any plans to try out unnatural colors at all? Hell yes. I definitely want to do unnatural colors. I would love to have... I would love to try pink hair, blue hair, purple hair. One of my favorite ones that I've seen is like a green and blue combo, where it's like I don't know the right terms, but it's like blue with green. I don't know if it's lowlights or highlights, but the two are blended together, where it's not like, you know, it's, oh, that's blue hair, oh, that's green hair. It's there's both in there. Actually, if you've ever seen Dark Matter, Five's hair color, like that's kind of what I'm envisioning. You look really pretty with plum hair. Ooh, that would be cool. Purple is so flattering on everyone. I love purple hair. Blue hair gang. I did have blue hair for a little while at one point. Plum, even I can see that. Okay. Done nearly every color of the rainbow. Now I have wigs. Wigs are cool too, though. A lot easier to change your hair color and hairstyle going that route. I will not rest until all of Twitch becomes ninja copycats. I wouldn't mind blue hair. I also, somebody I follow on Twitter just did this really cool, it's like blonde, but then it goes down into like all rainbow colors, all down to the tips of the hair. I wouldn't mind doing like a rainbow color. That would be really neat. But yeah, upkeep on something like that is expensive and a lot of effort. Yeah, rainbow's so hard, I know. It's just, I don't know that I want to put that much effort into it. But I think a solid color would be fine, or you know, just two colors. That's just highlights or lowlights or whatever you call it. Wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I wouldn't mind purple or blue. I think pink would be fun, but I don't know if... I think that might be a little too bright for me. Given how extremely white I am. What would be really interesting though? That would be fun. I think it's a lot easier to have colored hair as a streamer too, because it's more normal for us to have colored hair. I feel like. So when people go, oh, they have, why is their hair such a weird color? I'm a streamer. I go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Maybe a rosy pink. I think it would complement your complexion well. A rosy pink could be cool. Because yeah, when I was thinking pink, I was thinking like this pink. I'm like, I don't know that that would work, but a rosy pink probably would. You're right. Speaking of pinks and purples and stuff, I forgot, I should probably mention again, because Mondays when we're doing the giveaway, I am giving away a set of dice that are purple. They're Die Hard dice. So I've got to do my standard, go do this thing if you would like. So it's on my coffee. There we go. So each coffee donated is an entry into the giveaway for the dice, and if we get to $50, then I'm going to get a second set of dice for a second winner. So if you want dice, and you have the means, if you don't, do not donate. But if you have the means and you would like to enter for the dice, you can do that on coffee. And like I said, we're giving away on Monday, the 16th. And if it gets to $50, then I'll do another one. If it gets, by some Christmas miracle, if it gets to 100, I will do a third set of dice and a third winner. Oh my god, that is how you pronounce that damn website. Yes, it's coffee. I'm assuming, I haven't heard an official pronunciation, but it literally has coffee cup pictures and it says you're donating a coffee and it's a coffee cup. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced coffee. I'm so dumb. I was today years old when I learned how to say it. Don't worry, I've just talked to a surprising number of people that are like, yeah, Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi or like, I'm pretty sure it's coffee because everything around it is themed coffee. So you're not alone. And for all I know, I could be wrong. I've never heard or seen an official pronunciation guide for it. I am absolutely assuming. I have a lot of notifications. Make sure that I'm not missing anybody trying to talk to us on Twitter. Okay, nothing stream related on Twitter. I added you, Raven, on the Discord. Oh. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's cool. If you're on our Discord, it's in the Pics of Peeps channel. That mohawk is glorious. That's so awesome. What about Etsy? Is there any consensus on that? Just came to mind to ask. I've only ever heard Etsy. That was my old hawk. I like it. Yeah, I've only ever heard Etsy. I'm curious now what other pronunciations there are, though. That's actually really interesting. You know what? I should pull out my other window here so I can actually like be looking somewhat at the camera as I'm talking to people. I've shaved it all twice since, and I'm working on a large pompadour. Okay, that's cool. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Put this into performance mode, and then put this up here. Yay, now I'm actually like almost looking at the camera as I'm reading. I think I could have figured that out 2 hours ago when I started the stream. It's really weird with this one because I'm so used to doing the tabletop streams now, and I have Zoom open right here. So I'm always looking at, different faces all over my screen. So I don't really have to worry too much about looking directly at the camera. Because we're all looking at each other in the stream. But with this one, it's just me, so I feel like I should be looking more at the camera. Also on this one, I can actually see who's in the chat. There's so many odd names in here of people that are lurking. There's this one really weird name. Labs, something Lapai Labs? I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, that's much better. I can actually look at you all as I'm, so to speak, as I'm reading chat. I think Lapis actually is lurking now, because that didn't get a reaction. Oh, this is also one of my favorite covers of this song. Oddly enough, from my favorite Zelda game, which a lot of people don't know that that's my favorite. Because for most people it's Ocarina of Time, especially my age. Favorite is Ocarina of Time. My favorite Zelda game is actually I actually got it right here. Is this one. The Adventures of Link, or Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. And I love that I have the gold cartridge in the box. It makes me so happy. I've been tempted to sell it a few times. I'm like, but no, it's my childhood. Anyways, favorite Zelda game is Adventure of Link. And I love this music in it. Never played any Zelda game? Not a single second? Oh man. They're really, really good games. There's certainly ones that I like more than others, but I've never really come across a Zelda game that I just hated, other than maybe Skyward Sword. I really did not like Skyward Sword. Mostly just because you had to use the Wiimote with it, and everything breaks. Like your shields and stuff break really quickly, and there's the stamina wheel. I feel like they tried to add too many new things in. They fixed it a lot for Breath of the Wild. But with the Wiimote, the way I'm normally used to holding it and doing the controller, basically Zelda, or not Zelda, when I was playing Zelda, Link would run around holding his sword up in the air like an idiot. Like he was getting ready to charge everyone he talked to because of how the Wiimote worked. I did not enjoy it. Have I ever played either? What? It's because the years they came out? Could be. The moon thing scares... Oh, and Majora's Mask. Yeah, the moon is terrifying in that game. Never owned any console. That's fair. I got into video games later on, so I don't have nostalgia for a lot of older games. Totally fair as well. Looks like it's suffering from bad constipation. So PC releases only. That's totally fair. If you get the opportunity to play some Zelda games, they're really fun, especially if you like puzzles. That's kind of their big thing, their big influence on the gaming industry is puzzle games. Having to figure out puzzles before you can progress to the next area. So I feel like you see a lot of that in like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider games where you have to, put weights on different things or build a bridge or something like that by solving all these little puzzles. I think a lot of that came from Zelda games. I really got into PC games with Don't Starve. Oh, okay. So very recently then. I've been gaming since I was about 4 years old, which was 30 years ago. Yeah. I cut my proverbial teeth on the Atari 2600. And granted, that was when I was tiny. I was like 4 years old when I first played that. My first real console that I can actually remember everything about and played a lot was the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Back when you could play it on Chrome. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could play it on Chrome. So yeah, I've been playing video games since they've been a mainstream thing for the most part. And for a long time, I had only a NES until GameCube came out, and that's when I bought my own system. Actually, it's not entirely true. I had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and then right around the time of PlayStation and Dreamcast, I inherited sort of a Sega Genesis and Sega CD from a neighbor who didn't want it anymore. Aside from that, I had just that until the GameCube came out, and I was 14 or 15, I think, and I went and bought my own. That was like my first console that I bought myself, and it was fantastic. So I played a lot of old school games for a long time. Really, my first intro to D&D was about the same age. Oh, interesting. My dad would tell us his D&D characters' adventure as bedtime stories. Okay. I played Nintendo and Game Boy games kind of often. What really did it for me was Left 4 Dead. Oh, that was such a good game. Left 4 Dead's fantastic. That's when I fell in love with games. That's fair. Left 4 Dead is a lot of fun. I should play that again. Maybe we'll have to do that, especially like over the New Year week break where I don't have a lot scheduled because of that. Maybe we can get together like a community game, Left 4 Dead. explains a lot. There were never any PC releases. Yeah, a lot of that stuff definitely didn't hit PC. Did, yeah. I really got universally hooked on gaming when I started to play Ark. Ark was a lot of fun. Frustrating as fuck. But also a lot of fun. If you're ever looking for someone to play Left 4 Dead, I might know someone. Excuse me. Maybe my brain would not fry at that. Could try. Yeah. If you would like to get into a... man, I just put myself in on the H3 situation, and yeah, it was a huge oof, but man, I don't think he should just have his whole career canceled, though. Honestly, I'm not big into the whole, like, cancel culture thing. This is speaking because this is probably a big shock to you all, but seeing as I grew up in the South, I used to be a Republican, if you can imagine that. Like, I used to have some pretty screwed up worldviews, and I learned over time. And a lot of it is because that's just what I was brainwashed into believing. I'm all for people being given the opportunity to learn from their mistakes, especially if they seem apologetic about it after the fact. But that being said, I have heard that that's not the first thing that he's said about things like that. That was just like, why the heck did you say that? I think there is a certain point where it's like, okay, that's enough strikes. You're not learning. You're continuing that behavior. I don't really want to associate with you anymore. But yeah, I think there is the whole cancel thing, or the whatever is over party thing, can be a little bit too mob mentality. Nothing like screaming as you were eaten by a Dilo for the 200th time. Yeah, if you want to play Left 4 Dead, I have Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. If you don't want to do like a big group game or something like that, shoot me a DM on Twitter or Discord, and we'll figure out a schedule for that. Because I do have stuff going on pretty much all of next week. So we've got our one shot on Monday. I'm doing a Rick and Morty stream with Saito over on her channel on the 17th. We do have another Blackfeather Tavern before Christmas. So we'll have that. Not doing a stream on Thursday. Then we've got Buggy's Christmas special on Friday. We could do the 21st if folks are available on the 21st. I don't have a stream going on that day. And then there's there's New Year's Day. There's the Thursday right after New Year's that we could potentially do something like that. There's a few days that might work. That might be kind of fun to do. So yeah, shoot me a DM if you want to play. We can get a whole group together. But where do I have it? Good question. I have it on Steam for me, which I think it's a Valve game to begin with. So I think that's the only place you can get it for PC is through Steam. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's where it is. Unless you're referring to like a physical CD of it that you have to put into the computer, which of course then I have no idea. But yeah, that could be fun. I'm looking forward to another, you may have seen on occasion I'll do a Deceit stream. That's with Georgie May. Those games are really fun, so I would love to do a Left 4 Dead with everybody, kind of like we do over there. Don't have it on Steam. Okay. If you do have the physical copy, you should be able to get it on Steam by putting in the CD key. And I can give you all my Steam name. Oh gosh, my nose itches. Buying it digital. Okay. Interesting. What is my Steam name? Well, let me pull that up. Anyone on PS4 know if you can transfer save files to other systems via USB? This is a good question. I have no idea. I used to have a PS4. I used to have an Xbox One too. As I got into streaming more, I found I didn't really play those games a lot at that point because I just played everything on PC. About the only console games I play now are I play games on the Switch, and that's mostly just to relax. I don't really stream those much. And then I've got a Retron 5 that I'll play the old school games on, which I'd like to start streaming more of that. But it's hard to do that with a capture card and make the audio sync up. I still haven't figured out how to do that. It hasn't been a big enough priority for me to delve into it deeper. So my Steam name, for anyone that wants to add me, is it's Raven-Twitch. So just like my name here, RAVVYN-Twitch. Because free advertising. When you're in a multiplayer game and people see Twitch in your name, they're like, oh, hey, I should go check out that stream. This is also a fantastic song from a fantastic game. Only thing that makes me really want another PlayStation is so I could play this game again. And that's The Last of Us. And I heard they're doing a sequel too, I think. I think I heard that along the way somewhere. That was one of my favorite games, though, on the PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 3, and then I think they remastered it for the PS4. Either way, it's a very good game. One of the most realistic and unique takes on zombie games, I think. Also, one of my most unique cosplays. I did a clicker from that game. I made a whole mask and everything. It was pretty cool. Let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I have a picture of it downloaded, and I'll pop it up on the screen here. Might be my downloads folder. If I do have it on my computer. Because I do think I remember I was talking to somebody about it not terribly long ago. And so I downloaded the picture. Just don't remember quite where I downloaded it to. It might have been that I downloaded it onto my phone. So I may have to go grab it. I remember where it is, so let me find it real quick for you all. I was really proud of this particular costume. Back when I had money and a space to have a little workshop, I did a ton of cosplay stuff. I actually used to build props. I've actually built quite a few lightsabers in my day. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Just ignore my arms in this picture because they look horrible. And then let's add in an browser source. And then I think this is... This will work. We'll see if this will work. There we go, yeah. So this was my clicker mask that I made. Like I said, just ignore my awful arms in that picture. because it's the mask that you mostly want to see. There we go. Playing on brother's account. That's a problem with things that were happening long ago. No worries. So yeah, this was my clicker mask that I made. Was pretty happy about that. I also had a Bluetooth speaker in my pocket and the clicker breathing and clicking and noises, like a 10-hour loop on my phone that I had going to that. So I was just walking around. I think that was Salt Lake Comic-Con. Now FanX is what they call it, but at the time it was Salt Lake Comic-Con. And I just walked around in character in that costume the whole time. It was so much fun. They had some other characters from the game that were being cosplayed as well, so we had some fun interactions there too. But yeah, I made that mask myself and was pretty happy with it. 2003 to 2005 is just a big hole, but up to 2010 memories are still intermittent. That's fair. Hey, 2003 to 2005, I was graduating high school and going into college. I don't remember a lot of that either. It's a long time ago. So no worries. But yeah, if you have the game, Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2, either one, and you want to play sometime soon, yeah, shoot me a message. We'll figure out a date that'll work, and we'll get a big group game going. It'll be fun. I'll stream it, and we'll have a blast. Checks out he has the game. Okay, there you go. Oh, my nose itches. But with that, we've been going for about 2.5 hours. I think we're kind of winding down here. And I need to go get some food, because it occurs to me that I have not eaten today, which is probably not good. So I think we will wrap things up here. Go find somebody to raid real quick. Who is online right now? Oh, hey, Scrat's streaming right now. We'll go on a quick raid over to Scrat's channel here. What should our raid cry be for us today? Looks like Scrat's gonna start streaming in about a couple minutes. Pumpkins? Okay. Pumpkins it is. So we'll do pumpkins as our raid cry. I'll get that in chat here. That'll work. And then yeah, just real quick to go over a few last minute things. So again, if you do want to enter to win these really cool Die Hard dice, you can head over to Coffee. 3-paragraph excerpt from the Declaration of Independence. Oh my god. If you do want to enter to win those dice, just ignore the rest of that, but just the Coffee link right there, ko-fi link. 1 copy equals 1 entry. And if we get to $50, then I'll add a second set of dice and a second winner. And the drawing for that will be on the 16th. 16th in the evening. So you've got until our one-shot stream on the 16th to enter for that. Other things coming up. No stream tomorrow. But we will have a one-shot on Friday. I am looking for more players for that. It's going to be a holiday-themed, real simple little one-shot, simple D6 system. Should be a lot of fun. Just purely roleplay for the most part. If you'd like to play in that, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or Discord. And then Saturday, I'm sorry, we will have a stream tomorrow. I'm already on Season 3 schedule, so I'm like, yeah, we're not doing R&R tomorrow. We do have a stream tomorrow. It's the Star Chaser finale. It's kind of a big deal. This is why I need to eat. So yeah, we do have a stream tomorrow. It's going to be the Star Chaser finale, which is going to be a huge deal. It'll be a lot of fun. So we've got that on Thursday. Friday's the one shot. Still looking for players for that. And then Saturday we'll have the big finale of Badlands Season 2 and introduction into Season 3. So that's everything that's going on this week. Would love to have you come by for those. There's still some spots open for some Season 3 games as well. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out, for chatting and watching. Thanks, Rowan, for that gift sub to Agent Chaos Boss. It should be the entire script of the B movie. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. So I'm gonna put us on our raid starting screen here as we go raid Scraticus. If you're not already following Scrat, definitely do so. He is a fantastic person. It's an amazing channel. Highly recommended. But again, thank you all for being here, and we'll have another Blackfeather Tavern next Wednesday, same time. And other than that, we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please check out the following links. You can find